Hi everyone and welcome back to another T.G.I.F.J live interview session. Now, if you guys don't know where we are located at, we are 134 New Jersey Avenue in the meeting room. So please come in, get a cup of café con leche. So, without further ado, Mike Forrest, correct? And we have Joanne Martinez. Thanks, guys.
Welcome back, you guys. We're excited to have Michael Forrest with us this afternoon. We're just going to wait a few minutes and generate an audience. So just stay with us. Be patient. We're excited. We have a lot of information for you. And you're going to be really excited to hear some of the things that Mike is doing. And so just hold on. Just relax.
Oh, that's right, because this is live. You're streaming live, right?
We're streaming live, so we just like to give people a few minutes to, get on. And one of the things that we do is if you are blessed enough to be on Facebook when we're on, then you're blessed enough to catch it. So it's really exciting, though, the way Facebook Live works, because if you're not live, as you know, you can always catch it later. Yeah. So we're really excited, about some of the things that we're doing and the feedback that we're receiving and stuff. So it's really encouraging. Again, hi, you guys. I'm so glad that you're back with us. We're really excited to be here this afternoon. I hope you are enjoying your afternoon after that awesome rain that we had last night. And for those of you that are watching and you're not in New Jersey, we had some amazing, sleep, real good rain last night. But again, here with us is Michael Forrest, and he's a local young man, a dad, and I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about himself, and we will continue to pick at his brain and see what he's doing. So Mike, can you tell us a little bit about you?
Yeah, like you said, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I am from the area, I'm 36 years old. I've been married for 12 years. I am from Sicklerville, New Jersey. I don't know if a lot of people know where that's at. Yeah. But I'm from Sicklerville. I grew up in Sicklerville until I was about 14 years old. And then I moved out here to Mays Landing. So from 8th grade on, I've been a Mays Landing native. Most of my family is from Camden, New Jersey. So that's where my roots are from. A lot of my family still live in Camden. And we go out there and see them from time to time. But yeah, so that's where I'm from. I have two sons, Zachary and Zane, 10 and 6. My wife, Tiffany Forrest, I met her in college, and she wanted to live in New Jersey, which, most people don't really want to do that. But I thought about moving to Connecticut, where I went to college with her, because that's where she was from. But she wanted to move down here, so it was cool. And we were able to, to continue to, fellowship down here and do things in the community and stuff like that. So it's cool.
That's pretty awesome. It's interesting that you say most people don't want to come to New Jersey. My son and I were talking about that yesterday, and I'm like, I'll take it or leave it. In essence, at the end of the day, we'll just be living here and having homes in all different places. So, it's all good. I know that there's people that are so wanting to leave Jersey. But, my take is home is where you make it.
Yes.
And as long as my family's there, we're good.
Definitely. And that's what my family's here, and I'm straight.
Yeah, because I'm not from here.
Where you from?
I'm from the Bronx.
I'm the Bronx.
Yeah, so, what, like I said, my kids are here, my grands are here, my husband's here, so, I mean.
You're good, right? When you got your family, you just really don't have a reason to, want to get up and just leave. You feel stationary and good.
Most definitely. You have two boys.
2 boys.
Wow, I got two boys. I got 4 girls too, but I have 2 boys.
Well, family members want my wife and I to try some more to get a girl, but I don't know. I still want to start over. Like my boys is 10 and 6. Like they do their own thing. Go wash up, brush your teeth, get dressed. Having to do the whole start over thing. I don't know if but I'm not going to exit out just yet.
Excellent.
But
excellent.
Right now, I'm kind of cool with just my boys.
Yeah, that's what's up. I know I have a daughter that used to say, I'm never having kids. And now she has 2 boys. And she's an amazing mom.
That's awesome.
I say all the time, could you imagine life without kids?
Yeah, that'd be tough. Because your kids make you grind and make you want to wake up and do what you do.
Yeah.
And then you can't wait to get back to them after a long day of work. So.
Yeah, definitely. I love boys.
Me too.
I love girls too, but I love boys.
I love my boys, man. Definitely.
That's awesome. So, Mike, tell me a little bit about your education.
My high school education is from Oakcrest High School, Mays Landing. From there, I was able to go to Western Connecticut State University in Danbury, Connecticut. It was a football thing. I was able to go out there and play football. I did my 4.5 years there, you know, the 4.5 year plan. I went out there. I majored in communications. I wanted to do broadcasting on ESPN and things like
excellent.
that. Some things were lined up for me to go overseas and play football and things like that. So I kind of put my dreams on the back burner for a minute and try to pursue just strictly football. And I think that's where I made my first mistake.
Really?
Yeah. You know, looking back now, I was young and just doing whatever I wanted to do at that point. But, you know, at that time, I wish I had like a mentor in my life to help me, you know, put things in the right perspective. Because who knows, I could be on SportsCenter right now. Who knows? Because I really had a passion for it.
Well, who knows, right?
You know, it's still opportunities, but you know, that was my original dream. From there, I always wanted to work with youth. And I realized that if you wanted to get into a school system, you had to have some type of certificate or some type of master's. You needed something to get in. And when I first came out of college, I was like, I'm not going back. It was, not saying it was tough, but it just took a lot out of me. And I was just ready to be done with it. I thought I was going to be prepared to go into the workforce and just do whatever for what I had with my bachelor's. Come to find out, a lot of things that I wanted to do, I wasn't able to do because my bachelor's wasn't enough.
Wow.
So I had to go back to school. So I was 10 years out of college, and I went back in 2012, I believe. And I attended the University of Southern California, and I did their master's program. And the cool thing about this is they call it the VAC. It's a virtual academic program.
Oh, excellent.
So everything was virtual. So I was able to attend a top 5 school in the nation in my office in my house.
Oh,
so
wow.
It was great. It's kind of like if you can visualize like the Brady Bunch, how it used to come on with all the heads and stuff like that. We all had our own little box, and the teacher is in the top left, and she can give us different documents for us to do. You still had to come on time. She had the power to keep the door closed if you were late. So if you signed in late, it was up to your professor at that time if they would let you in or not. So it was actually more intense than being in a regular classroom because you can't hide, and you know, if you didn't do your work, you can't just chill. Like, your face is continually right there on the screen.
Wow.
So you got to be attentive, no dozing off. It was very intense. And a lot of people think that, you know, the online thing is kind of like a breeze. Well, this program wasn't a breeze at all.
Because I know that I've known a lot of people that have done, you know, school on the internet, you know, but it wasn't as intense as you're, you know, describing.
That was the difference between, and you can tell now that's where a lot of colleges are trying to go because they want to reach more students. So it's kind of, they're opening up that wave of being able to do it virtually, so students can, you know, I had people in Hawaii in my class, people that were in the military in Afghanistan and Iraq, like,
wow.
And it was all different times in the world, and everybody was just tuning in. It was a great experience. Wow. And then we get to go out there for some time and do some things out there and everything, and you actually get to meet your teachers and go through the graduation and go through all the graduation parties. It was one of the best things that I've ever done.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. And just the thought that you can be in college in California, yet be home with your family. Yes. That's pretty exciting.
The only thing I missed was the weather. So,
oh, I bet.
Yes, the weather was good. When I actually got a chance to go out there, it was it's low humidity out there, so it can be like 90 degrees, but it just feels so nice. It's breezy. It was just awesome. It hasn't rained. When I went there, they said it hasn't rained in like 6 months, and it rained when I was there, and everybody was bugging out.
You brought the rain, huh?
I guess. I guess the Jersey weather, if I brought it with me.
So there's something that I want to go back briefly, and you mentioned that there's some things that you would have liked to do different, and it brought to my mind, the fact that a lot of young men nowadays they have this, I'm gonna make it in football, I'm gonna make it in basketball, and they put their whole life, and once that falls through, it's like now they're left out there with nothing to do. How do you address those young men?
And I started with my sons as well. Like I tell them that that's their plan B. Sports is their plan B. And if you happen to be great in those sports, and just say you become out of the 1 in 300,000 to make it to the NFL, or go to one of these awesome D1 schools and get a full scholarship and all that, that's amazing. That's still plan B though. Let your plan B get you to where you need to be, but still your plan A needs to be some type of, profession that you have a passion to do. If you want to teach, a lot of people like to do the physical therapy and get involved in sports and things like that. There's a whole lot of ways you can get involved in sports besides just actually playing it. So I always tell my sons and any person I mentor, male or female, that let that be the plan B. And if plan B takes you to the point where you become a millionaire, then how awesome is that?
Definitely.
You know what I mean? But still make sure that you're getting yourself prepared, so plan A can come into play once you're actually done playing your professional sport. You can move into your organizations and your charity events and stuff like that, or teaching, things like that. So that's the approach that I take with it.
Yeah, definitely, because realistically, like you said, the
1 in
the
300,000.
Yeah,
it might be even more than that.
Yeah.
If you look it up, for anybody watching, if you actually like Google and look up the actual amount of people who actually make it to the NFL or make it to these big time schools, the number is crazy. It's like 1 in something. It's like 300,000 or something like that. It's nuts.
Some ridiculous number. Yeah. I can imagine. I mean, because you talk to a lot of young men, and they're like, their dream is to play professional, and it's kind of sad because thankfully, you had a mindset to continue your education even through the challenge, and you've succeeded, with at least doing something regarding what you love to do. Exactly. Still not exactly where you would have liked to be, but I think that it's encouraging to hear you say, don't just be focused on that.
Definitely.
But be focused on something that's more reachable, and not to say that it's not reachable, because all things are possible, but just to be prepared for life. Yes. That's definitely important. But tell me, what are some of the things that you're working on now, considering your love for sports and for football? I heard you say that you mentor boys and girls, or young men and young women, and education obviously to you is extremely important. So tell me some of the things that you're doing now pertaining to those things.
Well, right now my main focus has been my organization, which is Iron More Movement. Started it back in 2014, and actually being in school at USC, we had to do like a major project where we had to kind of create an organization, and we had to like put a plan together and everything. So it was kind of like I was doing it, and then I was like, man, it's time to make this thing real. You know what I mean? And just to rewind a little bit, I was working at a high school for about 5 years, and in that high school that I was working in was the first time that I witnessed counselors and teachers breaking down students to the point where they felt like they were worthless. And I felt myself I used to work at the teen center, and I felt myself becoming that person. I was always telling them that you had to be more than what your family members are saying, because that was the first time where I had students tell me that it was their own parents that were telling them that they were going to be worthless, or if they would say something like, you're going to be just like your father, and their father's been locked up for 20 years, or you're going to be just like your mom who maybe was drugged out or something like that. So they're already planting those negative seeds early, and that was, I don't want to say it was unknown to me because I've heard about it before, but getting it face to face now and really experiencing and being in the trenches with these students, it was something that it was life changing.
Not to interrupt you, but it's interesting because I think that we've all heard, or you know, with TV, seen a story of a young person that was, you know, beat down by the people in their immediate circle. But just like you say, I've, you know, had that same experience with young people, that when you actually meet a person going through that, it's almost like so emotional.
Yeah, it is.
You know, that is really even hard to deal with initially. But tell me a little bit more about those experiences.
And what you said is kind of hard to deal with. You know, me being in school and going through these classes, because I went to school for social work. I got my master's in social work, and you go through those classes where, you know, you have to get yourself mentally prepared for the attachments and things that go on with therapy and things with students. Yes. So there's been plenty of times where I've cried with students. It got real emotional, and it started becoming like a regular thing that I was encountering with these students telling me that, yeah, my mom told me I wasn't going to be none. And it started from there. So if it's starting from there and then they're coming to school, and now you got teachers who, when you think about it, most of the time spent with our children are with like teachers and counselors. So those are the people that we have the most, like we put our hope in them, that, you know, we're praying that these people are lifting our kids up.
Yes.
You know, while we're working, we're praying that these teachers are telling them they're going to be great and things like that. And it's sad to say, but everybody doesn't have that motive nowadays.
Yeah.
So I was becoming that person that was, you know, lifting them up. You know, I know your mom said this, which is still crazy to me that, you know, so many times I had to be that person. Like, I know your dad said this, or I know your mom told you that you couldn't do this, but I'm telling you, you know, somebody that you just met, you know, maybe over the last couple of weeks, and I'm building a relationship with you. Like, I'm hoping that soon you start to believe what I'm telling you. Like, I'm not just blowing smoke, which a lot of people do. If students come in with hardships, you know, they blow smoke just to get them out of there. It's a difference between blowing smoke and then really being invested.
Yeah, definitely.
Into the student. And I've always been invested in each student that I've met. And, you know, that's how Iron More Movement came about. Just being that person telling a movement of people. And that's what it is. It's an organization, but the thing that's different about Iron More Movement is that we don't have like a typical meeting of where groups come together, we meet once a month and that like that. It's more of a movement.
So right now, I could probably say that for this moment, I could be part of I Am More. And with that opportunity, I just want to encourage educators, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, whomever has direct access or contact with a young person. I just, you know, encourage you to encourage them. You know, just help you to realize the impact that you have in the lives of these young people. And I even want to encourage, you know, some of these educators and people that have direct access to young people that have been burnt out, that have worked so hard, and it seems like, you know, there's no fruit, that, you know, feel overwhelmed, afraid, and don't know what to do. Even to you I speak, and I encourage you to just remember that you might not see what you have put into that young person right now, but I'm going to guarantee you that in the future, they'll remember you. Definitely. So that was just my input to I Am More. Definitely. And it's back to you, Mike.
Definitely. Like you said, like, you sitting here right now, and if you support and believe what I just said, like, you are now part of that movement.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So, and we have, you know, shirts and hoodies and tank tops and things like that. And I always tell everybody, don't just wear it, be it. Like, believe what you wear. So if you have on the I Am More shirt or the hoodie, you know, when it's chilly or whatever, and you walking around, don't just put it on just to put it on. Like, when you put it on, believe that you're going to be more than what society has the opportunity to tell you. You know, looking at music videos nowadays, like, you really don't see too much of uplifting when it comes to music and things like that. So but understand that you're more than what society is saying, and that's what I Am More movement does. It kind of revamps the minds of those who have been broken down by society, and we just continually trying to reach out and do different things with it. And through that, through my passions with football and things like that, it's funny because Saturday was the first wide receivers camp. I played wide receiver when I played football, and I always had a passion to teach wide receivers the game. We did our first wide receivers camp on Saturday, and it was amazing. It was a great success. And since Saturday, we've been hit up by a few people to come out and continue, come do the camp with their players and travel around. So it's been awesome, and it's crazy because I've been sitting on that idea for about 2 years, and I was fearful about doing it, and I prayed, and it's crazy how sometimes the enemy will try to make you feel like you can't do something, or it can be too overwhelming. Even if you've been in the Lord for years and you've been walking strong, but there still can be that point in time where fear can creep in, and you can be like, man, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. And that's the way I was for like 2 years.
And you know what the word says? He's the accuser of the brethren.
Exactly.
So he comes to tell you all the reasons why you can't do it. But that's really encouraging. So you're doing a camp type of format with young men. Is there like a specific age group that you are?
The first one we did, it was 7th through 12th.
Okay.
Eventually, I'll do something with the younger kids. But this one, I wanted to focus on the older, because I coach high school football and I coach Little League football as well. But this one, with me and my brother Ashton and my brother Jeff, we sat down and kind of put it together, and we figured that the best place to start right now will be 7th to 12th, because when they're too little, you really can't get into like the nitty gritty of running a route and certain verbiage I would use. A little 5-year-old or 8-year-old is not going to understand what I'm saying.
I want to kind of capitalize, and I really don't know how much time we have left, but I want to really talk about something here. My sons played football as well, and something that my oldest son always says, it's not even so much about the game when they're that young, but it's more about teaching them honor and teaching them to push harder, and teaching them about teamwork and how helping your teammate, how important that is, and being on time, and being the encourager or the support of your teammate. How do you find that plays into football for young kids nowadays opposed to how it used to be? Because as a grandmother, I find that people coaching now, they really don't understand, like they're cussing the kids out, and believe me when I say I'm into the I used to tell my kids, don't make me come out there. You win this game, you all in. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not about you, it's about the team.
Exactly.
What do you experience as far as athletics today and that aspect of the game?
That's a lot to cover. So help me stay on track if I go off, because that's a lot.
So just to stay focused. Just if you were to talk to someone that's coaching, and the importance that they play in the lives of these kids, talk a little bit about that.
So me personally, football changed my life. I grew up without a father figure, and I didn't really trust men like that, and football taught me how to trust men. And I don't want to say my life is on the line, but like that's the way you think when you're in football. Like, this is life, you know what I'm saying? So what I do is going to affect my brother, and if I don't go 100%, my brother's going to be affected. The same thing. If you don't go hard right now, you're going to affect all of us as a team.
Yes.
So it teaches young people and old people how to trust, how to create this bond of brotherhood with people from all over, different places, different backgrounds, different family, demographics and things of that nature. You get to mingle with the rich kid, the poor kid, the middle class kid. Everybody's coming together on the same field and grinding out together. And when the coach understands that that's what this is really about, it becomes more than wins and losses.
Yes.
It becomes building men of character.
Definitely.
And if coaches can go and run with that, I think our athletic groups will go so much further than, you know, just that. Because there's a lot of coaches out there who are just living out their dreams on
through
this
the
field.
kids. Yeah.
And you cannot do that. You know, you can't do that. You have to teach these kids the proper ways to tackle, especially in football, the way concussions are, you know, that's probably the number one fear now with parents. They don't want their kids to play football now because of concussions. And that's because we've been taught the improper way to tackle growing up. Nowadays, they have all type of things you can go online. They have major seminars where heads up coaching, keeping your head up, keeping your head outside of the tackle. Growing up, you know, put your head in the chest. Put your head in their chest. You know, you can't put your head in the chest now because you can be paralyzed or get, you know what I mean? So it's all about the teaching the proper techniques. That's just teach the kids the proper way to play the game and teach them about being brothers with one another. And I think the biggest thing with football is overcoming adversity, because you can be down 21-0, and at that point, a lot of young people look down and quit.
Yeah.
And give up. And it's at that point where you got to teach them about hardships in life. And I think about football all the time. If I'm dealing with something in the workplace or something that I deal with outside of any type of sporting arena at all, I think about when I had to overcome something on the football field, and that is what is keeping me going to this day, because that's where I learned it first.
And really importantly as well is, you know, I think that is important even in the game and throughout any area in life, is that to give it your 110% and push until it's over. Yeah. I think, you know, something key that you say is that they're losing, so right away, you know, they put their hands down, they're all, no, like you know, teaching them that you have to give it 100% until the clock winds down to zero.
Definitely.
You know, and I think it's important, and, you know, whomever's watching that's in sports with young people, you know, I think that's important. Another thing that came to mind was that, you know, nowadays a lot of times parents say, you know, it doesn't matter who wins. You know, let's be real about life.
Please.
It does matter, because if it didn't matter, there wouldn't be a score. What we need to tell the kids is do the best that you can do and come off that field feeling great that I did all I could do. And I encourage my brother to do the same. Exactly. Now, it doesn't matter. It does matter. You know, life is about who gets in at the end of the day. So, you know, let's not belittle, you know, the principles that are being taught in the game. But, you know, we're running out of time, and I can probably sit here and talk to you for a long time.
I'm just getting started. I thought we had plenty of time.
Yeah. I told you, right? I told you, but in the I Am More movement, I know that you talked about training the young men. Yeah. That's what you meant by training, correct?
Yes. The football receiver. So, even though we did have a female on the last one, she was getting it right.
Hey!
So, shout.
But two things that I really don't want to end the segment without talking to you about is mentoring. I know that you mentioned it, but briefly, you know how us church folk do? We're closing for 5 times, but mentoring and definitely SAT preps. As a mom, I know that this has been like one of the most important things, especially when it's time to go to college. So mentoring and SAT preps.
I'll start with SAT prep. Coming out of high school, I had a couple Division I scholarships for play football. And the reason why I couldn't accept any of those scholarships because my SAT score wasn't high enough. I took the SAT 3 times, got the same score all 3 times, and I could have created a way for me and my mother to be debt free when it comes to college. The fact that I didn't understand the SAT, because from what I was, my more coach, and everybody that does anything with me, I call them more coaches. So in this point, my more coach, Ryan McLean, broke down how to prepare for this SAT test. And it's all about understanding how to get yourself, like, you really can't go out and just study for this test. Like, there's certain ways you prepare for it, and it becomes a lot easier to take it. I can't even really get into it. That's why I let him do it. I created the platform for him to do it, and it's been amazing. Like, he shares so many things that I even wanted to take it at 36. Like, I wanted to try it now, just from the things that he was breaking down to these students.
I want to take it.
I wanted to take it, and that a lot of young people don't really understand. Like, they get prepared to play football and go on and do all these great things, but if you don't have the SAT score, you're not really going. And they don't understand that. You know, they think, I'll get there, they'll look over it. No, they won't. And a lot of people are losing out on huge opportunities. So I don't want young people to miss out just like I did. So I created the SAT prep where our more coach, Ryan McLean, he does 8 to 10 weeks of breaking down. We do it early in the morning. They have to get up just like they were going to take the test, you know, like on a Saturday morning. Last year we did it on a Sunday. This year we're doing it on a Monday, Wednesday, because it's easier for his schedule, for many people that he does the SAT prep with. So the SAT prep is very important. That's one of my favorite things to do, because it's a passion of mine to make sure that people understand how important it is.
I'm gonna just include this in here.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to give me the
you.
hookup with the more coach.
I got you.
Because my baby girl, she's gonna be a junior.
Okay.
She's a junior. And that's something that she's been talking about, you know, the importance of the SAT.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I didn't know, you know. I'm always saying, did you study? Did you get the question? Did you answer that question? Some app that they have now.
Yeah.
But, you know, now, you know, based on what you're saying, I'm understanding that it's a lot more than just answering a question. But tell me a little bit about your mentoring.
Mentoring is everything to me. When I was in high school, I was about 15 years old, and there was a football coach that I had. His name was Coach F. And he was like my dad. And he was that guy that I can go to and talk to about girls, and talk to him about, you know, what's going on at home. And he would pick me up instead of, you know, partying on Friday nights before the games, whatever. He would make sure I was at his house. His wife would cook like spaghetti meals or whatever, and that's where I was every Friday. Wow. And he made sure that I was with him, and we still connected to this day. Like, I was 15 then, I'm 36 now, and he's still a big part of my life and still a mentor in my life. And mentoring is very, very, very important. And to me, to anybody that I've ever mentored, they will tell you that it's just about building a relationship, because young people today, a lot of them have a wall up because they know that a lot of people aren't in it for real.
Yeah, definitely.
So they put their wall up because this dude's been fake, she's been fake for so long, so I'm just putting a wall up because they protect themselves from fakery.
Yeah, definitely.
So when you build this relationship, and when these people continue to see that you're still there, after a while they just like, yo, this dude, Mr. Mike, he for real, like, he's still here. Like,
Yeah,
he's still talking to me. You know, I have a young lady that I mentor. Her name is Shayla, and she was 15 when I met her in high school, and she has a daughter now. She's getting married soon, and she still comes over and eat. Like, you could pretty much say that was like my first daughter. You know what I mean? Somebody that I basically like took her on my wing, like, this is my daughter. I'm gonna treat her like my own.
When you say that, I think discipleship, and those, you know, listeners and viewers, you know, that understand discipleship, you know, this is a good point or a good place to say that discipleship or mentoring is about creating relationships and, you know, being present, being more in that person's life. I think that's very key and very important. And, you know, it was a good place to add that. You know, we have to be intentional and active in the lives of the people that are around us, you know, and if we really want to play a part in helping them become more and be who they actually were purposed to be, we have to be more intentional and, like you said, not be fake.
Yes.
That's really important. So, Mike, in closing, can you tell me a little bit about what you're doing today?
Right now, I'm a counselor at Atlantic Cape Community College, advising students every day, making sure that they make the right choices, mentoring them through their whole process. And I also run a group there. It's called Men of Atlantic Cape, MAC for short. And I'm mentoring 30-plus young men every Wednesday from 12:30 to 2, take them on college trips, you know, get them in that atmosphere where they can experience actually walking on these campuses, so they can actually see themselves walking on this campus one day. You know, just giving them exposure is key. You know, it's something for a kid to be behind the television like, man, I would love to go to college, and then actually taking that same student and putting them on the campus. And not only do they say, man, I want to go, it's kind of like, yo, I can do this. Like, this guy looks just like me. I heard the story of this young man. He went through the same thing I went through. If he can do it, I can do it. Now they actually talking to people and getting exposed. So that's one of my main things is exposure with the MAC group.
This segment has really been exciting for me because, you know, you're a perfect example of, you know, not just coming out of a situation and just going about your life and forgetting about where you came from, but actually exercising, you know, a difference or a change in other people's lives. But I'm kind of excited too because you might be able to advise me.
It's the most rewarding thing, just knowing that you help someone. I have a job. Not only do I do it in my organization, but at the same time, I have a job that I wake up to every day where I know I have the opportunity to help somebody every day. Like,
be a life changer.
I wake up smiling like, let's go. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Let's help somebody. So, I mean, that's my passion, and I thank God every day that, you know, my passion has become what I do every day.
And like my son always says, if you are doing what you love, you never work
It's
a
not
day in
work
your
at
life.
all.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
It's crazy to say what I do is work,
Yeah.
because I don't see it that way.
Yeah.
It's just life, you know what I mean? I'm just
Definitely.
doing what I do.
So I want to thank you,
Thank you.
Mike, for coming on. It's really been exciting to have you here. You know, I always see you on Facebook, and I see that you're doing things, but actually taking the time to talk to you in more depth has given me a greater understanding of how important it is what you're doing, you know. And, you know, right here, right now, I want to say if there's any way that we can serve you and help you in what you're doing, you know, please don't hesitate to reach out. You know, I have my son Mike that he works closely with young men, you know. We're always willing to co-labor,
Definitely.
you know, because that's what we do. We like to co-labor. There's so many people already doing something, but, you know, it takes a village
Yes.
to raise a child, you know. So, you know, I encourage you to keep pushing on
I will.
because what you're doing is extremely important. And I want you to share with us all of the ways to contact, for people to contact you. And of course, I will add the information at the bottom of, you know, the feed. But can you tell people now how to contact you?
So on Facebook, it's I Am More Movement. That's the page. You know, they got the pages now, so you can go in there and like that. On Instagram, it's just More Movement. On Twitter, it's I Am More Movement. And if anybody wanted to get in contact with me, my email is mikeimentor@gmail.com. So if you want to connect, if you want to try to set some things up, we want to come out, talk to some youth, do some things, I'm always willing to do so. So those are my ways of contact at this point.
So I want to thank you for joining in this afternoon. I hope that you were as encouraged and blessed and motivated as I was after speaking with Mike. It's been a really, you know, excellent opportunity, and he has definitely important information. Again, we'll share all his contact information on the bottom of the page. Just leave some comments. If you have any questions, leave your questions. You can always reach out to him personally. If you don't want to catch all the information, contact us, T.G.I.F.J, on Facebook. We have several pages at, the meeting room on Facebook. You can always go on our T.G.I.F.J, and there's other ways to contact us. So feel free. If you have any questions, don't wait. You know how we always say, I'm going to. No, do it now. If you have a young man, if you have a son, a grandson, someone that might benefit from the different things that Mike is doing, please don't procrastinate. Don't wait till tomorrow. Do it now. We have an opportunity to make a difference in a young person's life, and we can co-labor or participate in the I Am More movement simply by being intentional in a young person's life. So thank you for joining TGIFJ Live on Facebook. Please like our page. Share this video. I can't express it enough. Share this video. Someone out there needs to hear this information. And again, stay tuned for upcoming live sessions. It's been so exciting. Thank you for tuning in. And again, share the video. Have a great, great afternoon.